lesson. I know people have been asking about it for a while. Charting. How I chart, how our professional charts, what time frames you should be looking for, what to be looking for when you're breaking down charting, whether it's the day of, you just walked into chat, or you just walked into the chart, you've never seen this chart before. Here's what to do. Small cap plays. Again, let's just go back to HSDT, a play that say you've never really seen before and starts popping up in pre-market. So it's a small cap play popping up in pre-market here. First thing you always want to do is start breaking down the charting itself, knowing that we see a support line right here. You know, support, bounce, bounce, bounce. So we see a channel, a shelf as I call it. We see a downtrend line in, boom, boom, boom. So connect the dots here, right? So I'd have a line in right here. In with the bodies of the candles. Why? Because I teach candlestick confirmation. I'm not worried about the wicks. Why? Because if we close and open outside of said support area, we will then continue down in that said area. Same here, if we would break the downtrend with candlestick confirmation, which is the first candle, go back and watch my lesson of that, the first candle to close and open outside of said area that you're channeling or put a line in, you'll start going in that direction. Well, this is exactly what you'd see, and of course you can see the short. Now, what do you do for the day? Well, you go to the 1 year, 1 day. And the one thing you're going to notice is going like, wow, there's a lot of red upper shadows and a lot of giving back of gains here. Look at this, dump after a gap up, dump upper shadow. This didn't even gap up, ran all the way in, came all the way back down. Look at that gross, ugly. So what's it mean? It means it's probably most likely going to give back its gains, right? Every single time it does that, you've seen it in the past, it's probably going to do that again. And so that's the first thing you notice. And the second thing you want to do is go, where's the chart at? Go, I bet it's going to have probably some 430 resistance right there. Old supports, new resistance. If we pop up anymore, here's a great area of what will support to be resistance. Boom, boom, boom. All the way back up into that bounce right there. And so I'm like, it probably won't get any higher than that. And you can just see what it's done recently. There's nothing else to really use in charting until you run into that area of maybe 435. And so then you go back of the day of. You start charting it and go, oh, wow. Look where that ran into. Right on the dot. See how that makes sense right there? Now let's go to large cap plays and go to a 15-day, 15-minute time frame. Why? Because you're going to start using channels of where these plays should bounce into and go from, right? You have the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute in there. The 15 minute is also an interval of what? The 30 minute, the hourly, the 4 hour. And so you're getting the best, in my opinion, of all the good charts. And so one thing you're always looking for, major reversal. So a crack of this area where we came down, bounced, and came up, which also then leads to a bounce and also old resistance from the day before on Thursday. That lets me know, as you can see here, old resistance becomes new support, my sandwich area as I call them, and we're bouncing on it pretty much yet again. When we crack that, it's probably going to lead to another good short. Where down to? Well, the next good reversal area, which is right there at around 518.50, which is a former high of day here, and then a great bounce and reversal there, right? That's how I'm using charting day in, day out. Let's go to another play where we can find maybe some more touches overall on how I'm using the charting. Like right here's another great example, right? Where we can see major touches along the way for where to trade Apple. Say if it cracks here, it's probably going down to here where it bounced and bounced there, 180.50 or 181.50. If it cracks that, it's probably going down here of 180.50. And then if we crack that, we're going all the way down to here. Now say we break over 187. Well, that's where I like to use it, if you've noticed in my charting, the 4 hour. Because then I can really see, okay, over 187, where's the next true? Oh, wow, probably right there at 188. One support. Now probably will be resistance. Where's your next area you have a lot of touching? Well, you could say maybe right here of 189, but I just go ahead over and go to 190. Reversal there, some through here, definitely through here. As you can see, a bounce, and then we failed at it and could never stay over it, and we've come down since. That's what you're looking for. Go over to AMD, or actually a good one here would be Tesla. A good one would be Tesla right here, right? So Tesla, we go to the 15-day, 15-minute time frame, and we can see, wow, if we crack this support, which also, again, lines up with this day right here where we're at, right? And then once it was resistance, now with support, what's that mean? We're going down to the next key area. So that's where you could just zoom in over here and go, okay, if we crack this 167 mark, where are we going? Well, the next key area I see where we bounced and went up and was also resistance the day before, right there at 162.85. That's where I gave 163 if you watch the weekly preview. Well, where's the next area? Oh, just a double bottom bounce right here, almost triple bottom. Excuse me, bounced here, bounced there, and then bounced there. And that's why you have to call it an area, so right around 158 area would be next. Well, imagine if you crack 158. What's next in charting to hold you up? Ooh, Not a lot, and that's where then I love those plays where you get under 158. There, unless someone has after hours turned on when earnings came out, this could come all the way back to where we came from in earnings in the high of day on that Tuesday, right? And so that's how you're using charting over and over and over. Right here, when you're going up, and then you see old bounce play right here, right at 176 on this Thursday, and then you see fail about a week later on the same exact price, right? Those sandwich areas are key. That's why I love to identify those, right? And so always notice what I'm looking for. Key reversal areas and key bounce plays, where we're going to and where we're going from. And so that's why you can go back through and probably watch my weekly preview, and you're noticing maybe where those areas are coming from. I'm breaking down charting every single time in those and what I'm looking for, right? And the main things are just reversal areas. So let's just throw another one in like SMCI. And all of a sudden when I see an old resistance area on that day on Friday, then becomes a bounce on Monday, pretty much a bounce this Wednesday, go a little bit lower, and it's probably kind of the same area on Thursday and Friday. I know if and when I get under 793, as much support as we've had, we're probably going to fly through 790. The only thing I see is this open is 787 and once resistance there. But if we crack that, then where are we going to? Well, then the next area down, and then you can just look at this charting right through here and zoom in on it, right? And no under 80-ish, in my opinion, which would be next. Then you're down to this area of 773. Old resistance where we fell and came down. We also bounced on it later on, 773, 774. You know, that's what you're looking for. Oh, wow, you have a bounce right here at 701, 700, and the next day, right? And so you can tell that's where those plays are going to be coming in at time and time again. You know, the more touches that you have in an area, the better. That's why I love this breakout too as well. We can see fail. Well, if and when we get over 835, we're racing to 840. And if and when we get over this 840 mark, where are we going to? Well, I just go back here in the chart over here and trying to find the next true area that was once support and resistance. Oh, wow. Where would be the next area that we went up from and then bounced out the next day? 830. Does that make a lot of sense? So if I keep going back in time here, right at 830, and now where are we at? Where do we keep kind of failing at? That same mark. Oh, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it now, right? And so let's go from there up. Where we see the next area? Oh, wow. Old resistance becomes support, and then we broke out more from it there. 840. Okay, over 840. Where's the next key area? Fell at 860. Break out over it when we got over it, right? We failed at it once, twice on this day, broke out really nicely from it the next day and went to 900. That's a $40 pop. And then the following couple of days later, with its earnings, we finally cracked that 860 mark. Yes, earnings was crazy. We get it. But under 860, look what we do. We collapse and we can't get back over it. Now, I know these are misprints, I'm pretty sure, but then where do they lead right up to? So if any trader's seeing that, well, where's the next resistance over 840? Well, I think we found it. It's at 860 right here, right at 860. And so that's what I'm looking for over and over and over. Like, you know, if you find, say if we crack 700 here, where's the next area that we reversed from and came up? 670. So 670 would be your target. Any day that we crack 700, I promise you we'd hit 670, right? And so that's kind of what you're looking for day in, day out for these plays as magnets. You know, let's just go back to, was it HG, if I'm not mistaken? HGTX was one that ran. HTGX. I can't remember which play that was earlier this week. Let me look at it real quickly while I still have it. You guys right here. Will take me 2 seconds. Hold on. Where are we at? SGBX was Friday. Oh, I forgot what play it was, but I just went over it. Well, we can just find another play that has run, and you're looking at small caps. Oh, I forgot what it was on Friday, but I'm just trying to show you even in small caps. Amara, here's a great example because it's kind of a smaller cap play that you're doing the same stuff. It doesn't matter if you're $3, $5, $100, right? You get in a channel, you can use this stuff. So under 17, where's the next support area? Well, I'd probably come right down here and find an area where we failed at, right through here. See where we bounced? See how we bounced and then we flushed? And then we came up to it and failed at it right through here. Then we bounced on it in that pre-market. So I'd be saying $16.75, $17 is exactly where we're, well, we're right at 17. Oh, wow, that makes a lot of sense, right? So I kind of see those areas. Well, if we crack that, where's the next good reversal area? I mean, this, in my opinion, then could find its way down to 16.25, maybe 16 here where we bounce and then bounce. Of course, when we cracked, we really went down, right? And so that's what you're looking for, bounce. Okay, 16. Okay, I see an area right here of around 1565, but then I see an area right around 16. Oh, wow. Or 15, right? So then you know 1550, 1550 area, 1560 area is going to be strong support. So that's what you're looking at day in, day out, or even if you're just trading the day of. And let's just do this. We'll just go back kind of the day of and what I'm looking at in charting for some of these plays. It's the same thing. You know, look at this beautiful channel here. I don't know what happens next, but look at that channel. If we break that downtrend, we're going up through 20 to 2070, and then we're flying. Or if we crack through 20, we're going down. Oh, and look what happened. We cracked through 20 here finally. We go on down. Come back up, kind of test that area a little bit and come down a little bit more. And so that's what I'm looking for day in, day out, right? We never really fully broke that downtrend. Where a bounce plays at pretty much occur in the same place over and over and over. Although Mara here is not running really technically sound as I would really like it to run, because I really want old resistance to become new support. You know, on a day in, day out basis. I probably should have pulled up some more charts beforehand of what really runs really naturally sound, you know. CPOP was one. Here you go. This is just another small cap play, but we could go back a little bit in time and see this one from a couple of days and just really see exactly where we're bouncing at, right? And why we're bouncing there. Old resistance in after hours. Old resistance or essentially in pre-market becomes what? A nice good support shelf that gets built up for now 2 days in. So if I see this and I go bounce at 280, bounce at 280, bouncing at 280. So when I come in on Monday now, I'm going to be looking at CPOP for two things. Either a crack of this 280 area, and if we crack 280, unless charters have pre-market on, which I will make sure and use it if they do, I know I'm good down to this 250 to around this 235-ish area, right? That's where I'd be taking profit, somewhere in there. The old resistance that became a decent amount of support in after hours and pre-market that we then went to. The other thing I'd be looking at is called a mid-candle breakout setup, where we go up on the first day. Although this is a red candle, you typically want a green candle followed by a red candle. So this also could then what? Pop up on Monday. So all we have to do is re-break what? Fail area, failed right at it, right? I would then go to the highest part of it and say, hey, anything over 325, where then I can also go back in time at 325 and see fail, right? And then support bounce at it. Over that, I'm good up to 340. Over 340, my next run up would be somewhere around the 380 area. And over 380, anything over 4 takes some profit from 4 to 430. And where you're going to find that at? Over 430, you go to the 1 year, 1 day, and you've got to go back in time and then try to find old reversal resistance areas. Where this one, you see a lot at 5, right? You see a lot at 5. Over that, I see a small sandwich area right here at 560. Over that, then we're working our way up to the 650 area where I see some resistance and fail there, and also an open of a day here where we just completely collapse. So that's what I'm looking for in charting day in, day out for the small caps. For the large caps, we'll just go to a random one again like ARM. You got to start out in a 15-day, 15-minute time frame. Find the channel you're in, which is a lot easier sometimes, like a play like AMD, and you can see where a lot of the touch is at. Fail. So I know 156.50 to about 157.50 is going to be prime resistance. But if I get over that area right through there, then I'm just going back in time and trying to find what's next. Old resistance equals new support, right? So old resistance, new support, 158.50. And then again, bounces on it the next day. So I know 158.50 to 159, take profit. Over that, we're going to the top part of that channel, 160, 161. Over that, we're going up to around 162.50, right? Let's go to the bottom side. Where am I going if I crack a bounce and then also a bounce and also was pretty much the high of day right here? So anything under 151, we'll call it, watch for a move, and then what? You're going back in time to find the next area of charting you could go to, which would be back through here. So you would just kind of zoom in through here and go, okay, under 151, under this high of day right here, which maybe could see a little support and bounce at 150.70, we're going to 150. Under 150, the next area that I really see is somewhere right around 148. A bounce at it, and then reversal and fail at it, right? And then some consolidation just below it at 147.50. So anywhere from 140, I would say 148.75 down to 147.50, you could see a bounce. You know, you're going to find the most clear-cut areas, which this would be a great one, 141, 141, right? Or 142, 142, however you want to look at it. Those are the more clear-cut plays, right? Reversal areas is what you're looking for. It bounced here, and now it's coming up and reversing and failing at it, right? or it failed here, failed here, failed here, bounce here, bounce here, bounce here. You know, you're looking for major reversals, or bounced here, went through that area and flew up big time, came back down and bounced on it again. And then when we cracked it, boy, we cracked it really hard and went down for a little bit. You know, you're looking for those major reversal areas, a lot of bounces, a lot of touches, a lot of resistance, a lot of support. Hopefully that helps you out. I'll find some of my favorite charts in the next one of these in part 2, because that's just kind of how to identify what to be looking for day in, day out, what I'm looking for. And round 2, what I'll do is I'll do one of these in the morning. So it's kind of a fresh, like, hey, it's in pre-market. How do I break my plays down? And then in the third and final version of this, I'll find my 5 to 10 different plays. They'll be different from different days, but they will establish what I'm looking for every morning and what you need to be establishing. Profitability zone. Obviously, all this comes from A+ setups. So profitability zone. Like I said, how far away is my stop loss and target? Do I have room to move here on this play? Where's the reversal at? Where's the bounce play at? You know, is there a lot of touching, a lot of upper shadows, a lot of wicks? So essentially, like I do every single day, I'm not stuck on AMD or ARM or Meta or Google or whatever. Every day, I'm waiting for the setup to tell me this is in the prime setup, this is going to move, we're going to have some fun, and you're going to get a good play. SMCI was my play on Friday that I told everyone and why. And here I'll give you a quick little snippet. Overall on this channel, and what do we do overall on that big channel? As you can see, I'm going to zoom in. We come down and get real flat in after hours. And then in pre-market, we do the exact same thing. And you'll notice the tighter these channels are in pre-market are better. You don't like a lot of movement because it gets indecisive and you don't know if we're going to go up or going to go down. Typically, though, if we go up in pre-market a lot, we'll go down. If we go down in pre-market, we'll go up. You'll notice that a lot. A lot of the time, though, when you have these real tight movement plays, I had SMCI squeeze in for the long side or a good short. And I thought under the short, we could find our way back down here to 800, which we eventually did. So essentially a $10 play down, or over that 813, 815 area. And I said over 815 is the play for a move up to 825 and maybe even 830. So essentially anywhere up to this 820 mark to maybe even 830. And we got it. And so every day I'm identifying what setup is the best at the opening bell, determine on what we've been doing over the past few days, and then also what that setup is that morning. And that one will be in the third and final one. The next one will be me coming in on a pre-market. Kind of want to do those morning alerts to you guys and giving you a rundown on how I'm finding that charting right there that day and what you should be doing. And the third and final one, I will then solidify 3, 4, 5, 7 tickers and be like, hey, here's what you need to be looking for. Small cap, right here. This is it. Large cap, hey, this is it. Until next time, that's round 1 on how I and you should be breaking down charting.